Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're well. We'll take a show of hands of questions, please, with mics on either side of the room. And we'll set an embargo partway through for 10:30 p.m. on Saturday evening. We'll start with PLP, please. Thank you.
Enzo, well, here we are on the eve of a new Premier League season. What's your mood now? Is it excitement? Is it looking forward to taking this group onto the next stage? How do you view the season to come?
Very excited, as you said, very excited to start this new chapter, this new journey. The target is to carry on in the same way of the last 10, 15 years. So very also happy to finally to play our first game at home. So, yeah, excited.
And ahead of that first game against Bournemouth, what's the team news going into this weekend?
At the moment, the only one is Jeremy Doku. Then Matheus is back. Jeremy and the rest, they are all okay.
And on Bournemouth, obviously, they've had some change this summer, a new manager, presumably a new style of play. How do you approach this? How do you prepare for them?
Yeah, I watched the game. The pre-season game. I also watched some games from last season where he was in another club. And you can see clearly, the identity, very aggressive team. They were already very aggressive with Adoni, and now they are still aggressive. So it's quite clear what they do on the ball and off the ball.
Hi, Enzo. So Rodri has now left the club, and I'm sure that the club are going to miss him a lot. But I know you said you would have liked him to stay, but it seemed he'd made his mind up. Was there ever any realistic chance of him staying? Did you try to persuade him to stay?
It's quite clear when players they want to leave, and then it's difficult for any reason they want to leave. Then it's complicated to convince them to stay or to change their thoughts. So it happened with Rodri. The same thing is happening with Savinho. Since day one, he asked me that he wants to leave. So now we are waiting. But it's complicated, when the player they are thinking that they need a new challenge or they want to change because they want probably back Spain or they want to play more minutes for different reasons. So it's become complicated then to convince them to stay.
Okay, you mentioned Savinho there, but Reijnders has also gone. There's talking Nico Gonzalez, possibly Omar Marmoush. Why are so many players leaving at the moment? And are you happy about this?
Yeah, probably. Unless Rodri, the rest they have all in common one thing, that they didn't play a lot. So at the end, we said many times, we just finish a session and they all work every day because at the end they want to play. And when they don't play, probably they want to, they prefer to leave. So the ones that you mentioned, probably unless Rodri, the rest, they are all players that for different reasons, they didn't play a lot.
So picking up on that, Enzo, do you expect Omar Marmoush to leave? Is that deal with Spurs going to happen, do you think, at this stage?
I don't know. Omar is still here. It's still with us. It's a different situation than Savio, and we see what's happened.
Is he a more difficult one to let go with the challenge of having to try and sign a replacement striker with 11 days to go of this window?
I think it's always complicated when player leaving and someone has to arrive if you are not ready. But we see if Omar stay or we see what's happened. For sure, we are going to have more option in case player they go out. As I said already a few times, if they go out, some has to arrive.
Given there are only now 11 days of this transfer window left, do you have any concerns that you are, as a club, leaving it very late to build the squad you'll need to compete for the Premier League title?
No, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. Since day one, we know exactly what we need. We are working together with the sport director, with the club. And again, it's 10 days to go, 11 days to go, and many things can happen.
Just regarding City's interest in Enzo Fernandez, just from your understanding, where do you guys sit with that, with the Chelsea deadline having passed? And do you expect to still push for Enzo having played with him at Chelsea?
Unfortunately, I need to answer always in the same way. Enzo is a Chelsea player, and I'm not going to talk about players that they are not. They are not with us. First of all, because I think it's lack of respect, and second, because I don't like when different manager they talk about our players.
Hi Enzo. Considering the result against Arsenal last weekend, number of changes in the squad, new manager as well, is time and patience? I think you'll get that.
Say again, sorry.
Is time and patience going to be key?
It's clear that there are change, manager, players, but we are a club that we cannot wait for time to compete. So we need to compete since day one. Since day one. Again, Arsenal game, we wanted to win. We didn't win after analyzing the game for different reasons. Now the focus has to be just about Bournemouth, Premier League, and all the games that we have had.
How important is it for people to stay calm, not just yourself, players and fans as well?
Very important, for sure. It's very important because we know that when we win games, fans are happy, but I'm happy when we win game. When we don't win, everyone is upset. You sleep less. Many things when you don't win games. That's why it's important also to win games because we all are more happy. But no doubt that we are going to win games.
And as you've mentioned, there's been a few exits so far. Might be a few more going out. What's the minimum number you'd like to bring in before the end of the transfer window?
We don't have minimum number or maximum number. It depends a little bit. As I said after the last game, in case you win games or you lose game, we are not going to change our perspective or our idea how many players we need. We know exactly what we need, how many players we need, and then we see now in the next 10 days.
Enzo, you've had Phil Foden with you throughout since you arrived. I mean, we saw training in South Korea. Looked like he had a really good session. Everyone always says that he trains really well. Thomas Tuchel said it in March that he's a brilliant trainer, but hasn't been able to sort of replicate that on the pitch recently. How do you go about translating those performances behind closed doors to a Saturday?
I think Phil, for me personally, had a good game against also in the last game. So you can see that he's sharp, he's good, and since day one, he looks very, very good. People that they are inside the building, they are saying to me that compared to Phil in the last year or in the last 2 years, is completely different player in terms of mood, in terms of what he showed during the session, and this is what we want. Phil is from the academies, from the house, so it's nice also for everyone to see him getting better and better.
And just looking at the way you've set up in the friendlies and the Community Shield, would it be fair to say that he's in sort of direct competition with Rayan Cherki for that spot in behind Haaland up front? Is that where you see him sort of playing?
Yeah, they can play together in different positions. They can play together, but for sure they are quite similar. And at the end, I think if you want to build an important team, you need competition inside the team. So it's good that Phil with Rayan, they have a competition, but again, they can play also together in some games.
I'm going to just ask a very quick one about, you mentioned Marmoush is different to Savinho, even though Spurs sort of want to sign both of them. What's the reason for them being in different situations?
Savio since day one asked to leave, and Omar he didn't ask to leave since day one.
He has now?
Not yet.
I watched the documentary the other night. I'm sure plenty of people have by now. And one thing that was interesting to me, among many things, was the club's data model that it uses to predict where it's going to be, looks at the squad, its quality compared to the rivals. Taking it away from AI and asking Enzo Maresca, the manager, how healthy is this squad to meet your expectations and your ambitions?
I think we have a good squad for sure. And it's not. It's a context. It's not excuse. It's a context that when you made many changes, but not only the manager. How many years Rodri was here, John was here, Ake was here, Bernardo was here. It's a big change. But that means that we are not going to be ready to compete. We need to be ready to compete. I want to compete. And again, the reason why I'm here, because I want to try to win titles and to carry on what this club, this organization, has done for the last 15 years. Where we are now, it's also a bit complicated because we started 1 month ago. But again, for sure, the intention is to compete as soon as possible.
And looking at the profile of recruitment, there's been a lot of talented young players that Man City have looked at, and understandably so, thinking about building things for the future. Is there a desire for you to look at maybe a few more experienced players to replace some of the experience lost? Would that be of benefit?
When players are good, I don't mind the age. Also, in my previous experience, we are the youngest squad in the Premier League. But if they are good, they are good. For sure, player with experience, they can give you different things. But again, we have 10 days to go, and hopefully we can do the things that we plan.
And just finally from me, looking back and the footage from the Arsenal game, you could maybe break down little moments of misunderstandings between players, which I think is natural given change and some in new clubs and things like that. How confident are you that that's a quick learning process to minimise little mistakes but that can lead to goals?
Yeah, no, we need to solve it in very quick, because now we start games. Now we have 2 weeks, entire weeks, but then we're going to start every 3 days. So we need, as soon as possible, solve problems. Again, the Arsenal game for me was for different reason, but it's also normal at the beginning that there is some misunderstanding, because it's most of the part for the players is something new.
Enzo, just on Jeremy Doku, how serious is his injury? How long do you think he'll be out for?
Unfortunately, in the last game, half time, he was complaining about a little bit pain in his calf, and then the idea with him was to play in any case 45 minutes. So for him was the plan, the change was planned, and at the moment it looks like 2-3 weeks, no more than that.
And just in terms of yourself, you've got history with Manchester City. You left your last spell in 3 years ago. Just wondering, you've been here a few weeks now. What changes have you noticed since you came back to the
squad? 90% of the squad is not the squad of 3 years ago. I think there are 3-4 players. Then people inside the building, they are still the same. Most of the people inside the building, they were with me when I was here previously with DDS. So inside the building, it's quite family. The squad is 90% different.
Hi, Enzo. You mentioned wanting to continue the work the last 10, 15 years. There's an argument to say that the club is in the biggest state of flux in that sort of time span, the last 10 or 15 years, with all the players that have left, etc. When you agreed to take this job, which I believe was kind of the new year, or certainly start of this year, did you understand it would be in such a state of flux, change?
Yeah, first of all, the contact with the club was not at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the year, was almost at the end of the season. I knew exactly that there were change, not only the manager but also in terms of players. The good thing is that the club know exactly where we are. This is the most important thing. What do we need? And the club, first of all, they know that we are changing, and I was completely aware of that.
So from your point of view, in English we sort of have a phrase, you can have a bit of a hospital pass. I don't know if you know this phrase in Italian, where you're like, oh, thanks a lot, you've had me this sort of thing. Is that how you're viewing this, or is it optimistically as a great challenge?
No. I said day one. I feel for me it's a privilege to be here. It's a huge club, huge organization. I'm convinced because of the player and because of the club, because what we can do, that we can achieve something important. Now it's normal that it's not something magic day after day. It's something that you need to build, and we're gonna build.
Set the mug there for 10:30 p.m. on Saturday evening. Start with Sam.